What's up everyone, it's me Sergio with Mobility Direct. Welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Buzzaround LT made by Golden Technologies. This is the new 2025 edition with some awesome improvements. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to show you some sneak peek exclusive footage that we saw at a trade show about this model that no one else on the internet has. But before we get started with this video, like always, let's tune into some epic action shots, shall we? Alright folks, so to set the agenda, I'm not going to go over every single spec in great detail. We do have a sales brochure and spec sheet which you can download. It's going to tell you every single spec down to the nitty gritty. If you want a copy, just go to the description, click the link, or visit our website. You can check them all out. You could also request a copy of our free product catalog. It's got all of our latest products, discount codes, and a lot more. If you want to claim a copy, just go to our website, mobilitydirect.com. Click on the green button at the top of every page that says free catalog. Fill out the simple short form, and you'll get one in the mail within 1 to 2 weeks tops. All right, so first of all, folks, the Buzzaround LT is known for having a new feature called Microturn technology. What does that mean? Well, let me show you. Typically speaking, four-wheel mobility scooters do not have the best turning ability. But look at these front wheels when I turn sharply all the way to the left and the right. This is not common. You can see this front wheel is almost perpendicular to the front and rear side of the frame, allowing it to have a turning radius of just over 40 inches. So I'm just going to demonstrate really quick and tell you more about this scooter. So this scooter has a 300-pound weight capacity. I really love that it has blacked out rims and it has interchangeable colored panels. So it comes with red and blue panels that you could pop out with no tools and replace them, whether you like red or blue, and there are other color options available. I also really like that it has a huge front basket that comes with it for free, and it has a hitch receiver on the back of the seat, so you can put a rear basket as well to put even more groceries. We've taken this thing to the grocery store, and it works perfectly. You can literally do a U-turn in the aisle, which is almost unheard of with a four-wheel scooter. Typically, three-wheel scooters turn really sharp, but they're unstable. The Buzzaround LT with the Microturn technology gives you the best of both worlds. Superior turning radius and stability. And by the way, somewhere in this video is a hidden message. If you spot that hidden message, it's going to give you access to an exclusive discount code, which you can trade in for a huge discount on your next purchase at Mobility Direct. So pay attention. Something else that's pretty unique and not too huge of a deal, but look at these handlebars. These are pretty nice ergonomic grips that we're seeing on this model for the first time across any of the Buzzaround series. It looks like a high-tech kind of mountain bike style grip. Feels really good when you're holding on to it, especially when you're going on uneven terrain and off-road, which it does handle pretty well. We've tested it on mulch, on grass, on inclines. Surprisingly, for a small, lightweight, travel-friendly scooter, it held up pretty well. So while we're here talking about the tiller assembly, let's talk about how it works and the features on the dash. So this has what's known as a single-handed use throttle system. What I mean by that is you can actually go forward and reverse with your right hand by either pulling back or pushing forward. You can do the same with your left hand, although the controls will be inverted compared to the right hand use. So if you push forward, you go forward, pull back, you go back with the left throttle. Now, it also has a speed control knob that you can dial in your top speed. It's basically like a speed limiter. So if you wanted to limit the top speed, it goes around 4 to 5 miles per hour top speed. You can limit that in half by putting it in the middle or go all the way to the tortoise to really slow it down. If you're a first-time user and you're nervous, you want to just get used to it. All the way to the hare, that's top speed mode. So you're ready to go as fast as it can possibly go. Just under that dial, you've got a horn buzzer. Not the loudest horn, but it works. And on the right side, you've got your ignition. It does come with 2 keys when you purchase it, so if you lose one, make sure to take the spare off the ring and put it somewhere that you can access it if you lose the key. and it has the spare attached to the key ring, that's not good, right? So I'm going to put the key back in the ignition, give it a slight turn clockwise, and it'll power on. The battery meter is showing about a half drained battery right now. When it's fully charged, you're going to see these extra lights that are off right now illuminated, and they're actually green. So you know, one of the lights will turn off, then the next, then the next, then the next. You want to typically not let it get to the red, and I would say wait until it's about halfway charged to start charging. You don't want to charge it when you really don't need to, right? So if you've only got one of the green lights off, you don't need to charge it at that point. You can wait till it gets about halfway down as a best practice. Now on the left side, you've got your charging port. It does come with a standard charger that you plug into the wall with an XLR barrel connector, which I'm showing you here. This little connector has 3 pins. The receiving end has 3 holes. All you got to do is line up the holes with the pins, plug it in, and it'll start charging. There is a light on the charger that you plug into the wall. While it's charging, that little light on this plug-in adapter is going to be red, and then it'll turn green when it's fully charged. All right, so let's move our way down. We talked about the tiller and all of its features. Moving down, you do have that basket, which literally just slides onto a hook. So this little hook here slides into here, and there's really no tools, no levers, no latches. Super easy to remove the basket, and we'll show you more about that when we're breaking it down. What I want to talk about now is this thing. This is a rotation knob. So if you loosen this all the way, your tiller becomes loose, right? Now that this is loose, I can actually adjust the tilting angle of the tiller to bring it closer to me or further away, making you more comfortable, right? If you've got shorter arms, you want it closer. If you've got longer arms, you want it further away. Or if you're long-legged and you have your knees in the way, you can move it away from your knees. Once you're comfortable, tighten this knob back up, and it's just going to lock into place. Make sure you kind of wiggle it a little bit as you're tightening. Just a little pro tip there, because if you don't line up the teeth right on the mechanism there, it'll get loose really easily. All right, now let's talk about the floorboard, which I think is very spacious. I have a size 12 shoe, okay, and I can put my feet up here, but I really don't need to. My size 12 shoe fits perfectly right here. And let's talk about the measurements here, because that's not something a lot of people talk about. So from front to back here where the battery box is, you've got about 12.5 inches. And if you include the space all the way up here where your feet can go, you've got over 21 inches. The width of the floorboard on the front elevated parts where the wheel wells, you got about 17 inches. At the very least right here where it's the thinnest part of the floorboard, you're still going to have about 15 inches, which I think is plenty. Obviously there are other models. If you've got really big feet, you need a more wide floorboard, we've got options. All right, now let's move on. We have the battery pack here, which is removable, very lightweight. And remember, stay tuned to the end of the video, because I'm actually going to tell you something that's coming out in the near future regarding their batteries and some other awesome stuff that's coming out soon. No other dealer has content or footage. I took a hidden camera to a trade show and got exclusive look at some prototypes. You're not going to want to miss it. So this battery pack has 2 sealed lead acid batteries in it. Again, it's removable. It has a charging port and a built-in breaker reset button. So what does that mean? If your unit's not turning on, you want to check that, because you could have just popped the breaker by overloading it or going up a hill that's really steep that it can't really handle. Sometimes it'll trip that breaker to prevent catastrophic damage to its motor, controller, and other electronics that are sensitive. Taking the battery pack out and putting it back in is super easy, especially with that convenient handle. There's really nothing to it. While we're here, if you notice here on the seat post, there is a nut and a bolt that goes through the seat post assembly. That's actually used to adjust the height of the seat. So if you remember in our unboxing video, we showed you how to set the seat height at the desired position that you need, which is a pretty nice feature for comfort adjustment. Speaking of comfort adjustments features, this seat is super comfortable. This is a very thick cushion for a seat that's on a travel-friendly disassembling scooter. A lot of the time you don't see seats that are so thick. You've got about a 17-inch wide seat here. The depth from front to back is about 16 inches, and the seat back height is going to be just about 15 inches. So plenty of back support. The armrests do flip up, which makes it easier to get in and out of the chair. You can also use this rotation lever to make it even easier. What I like to do is I like to have the seat like this at a 90 degree with the armrests up. I'll get in the chair, use the rotation lever to face forward, and then get locked in with the armrest facing down. Super easy to get in and out of the chair that way. And if you go to a restaurant or you're going to just dine at home on the table, you don't even have to leave your seat. You can go sideways, you can go all the way back. You do a full 360 and just have fun like you're on a merry-go-round. Just kidding, you shouldn't do that. But it's nice that you can actually rotate it, and it locks into position every quarter of a turn. So you'll feel safe. It's not just going to freely rotate. It locks into those positions. Now on the back of the seat, I want to show you a few things. This is your hitch receiver. You can put a rear basket, walker holder, cane holder attachment, and several other universal accessories that are made by Golden. And you do have options from other third-party vendors that make universal attachments that fit in there, like fishing pole holders, tackle boxes, and things like that. These knobs here, if you loosen them, you can adjust the width of each armrest, giving you more space in between each armrest. So if you want to set it out far like here, you've got a lot more distance now in between each armrest. So that's pretty convenient too. It's loaded with comfort adjustment features like this. The only thing it doesn't have is the height adjustment on the armrest, which I think would have been nice, but this is an entry price point scooter, meaning it's one of the more affordable options out there. So it is going to be limited with its bells and whistles and comfort adjustment features. They're also trying to make it as lightweight as possible. Keep that in mind. This thing breaks down, which we're going to show you next. It breaks down into 5 lightweight pieces. This is the process. Fold the backrest down, pick up from the front and back, pick straight up. The seat pops right off. No tools required for that. You can also pick up on the battery pack with one hand. Very lightweight and easy to work with. I like to take the basket off before I lower the tiller. Just pick straight up. Just like we showed you to adjust the tilting angle of the tiller, you want to lower it all the way. So loosen that knob, bring it all the way down to about here, and retighten so it's low, very low, enough to fit into the trunk of a car very easily. Now, when it's in the trunk of the car, you don't want your handlebar swaying from left to right when you're making turns. That could, potentially hit your luggage or other personal or other delicate items in the trunk that you take with you. So you have this little knob here. If you push it in and rotate it a quarter of the turn clockwise, now it's locked in. So now that it's locked in like this, what I like to do is put one hand on the seat post, use the other hand to pick up on this lever, and boom, now it's broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lightweight pieces. This is going to be your heaviest piece, weighing about 37.5 pounds. Very manageable, very compact, super convenient for traveling, whether you're going to the airport to take it on an airplane. It is technically fine. You can bring it on an airplane. They're going to stow it in the storage area just like a stroller for babies or a wheelchair. You're going to have to get off the scooter at the entrance of the plane door, and they'll take it underneath. As soon as you arrive at your next destination, they'll pull it back out and have it ready for you as soon as you exit the plane. We actually have a video tutorial if you've never traveled on an airplane with a scooter before, so you can learn everything from start to finish. We documented the entire experience of what it's like to travel on an airplane with a mobility scooter. We also did the same thing for cruise lines, trains, buses. Our YouTube channel is full of educational resources. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Check out our channel. You can learn a lot. And by watching our videos, giving them a thumbs up, sharing them, that supports our channel. We appreciate your viewership more than words can explain. So thank you again so much for watching. All right, so I'm going to put it back together now. Super easy. Loosen the tiller. Tighten the knob once it's up. Now reconnecting the front half to the rear half, you're going to notice these 2 hooks that are part of the frame. So you've got a solid connection point here. Those 2 hooks are going to land here and here on the back part of the frame. There's a little tube there. And it's just literally like if you just let go, it clicks into place. Nothing to it. Battery box is right here. There's nothing to it. There's some connection points here that make contact and give the 24 volts from the 2 12-volt batteries that are in here. And they connect right there. So just line it up. Drop it into place. You don't literally have to drop it in. I just did that for optics, but it's super easy to do. Now on the seat, there's a little male connection point, and on the top of the seat post, there's a hole, and that's where that male connection point just needs to line up. Once you've got it rested on there, start to level out the seat, give it a little shaky poo, and it's going to fall right into place. Now that it's locked in, you want to make sure it's not rotating freely to make sure it's secure, and your chair is installed. Last but not least, definitely the easiest part, hook the basket on, get in your scooter. Always make sure it's powered off when you're getting in and out of the scooter for safety, and it's ready to rock and roll. Now, a couple of other things. It has about 7.5-inch drive tires on the back. It is a rear-wheel drive setup, so the motor back there is going to power the back 2 wheels, not the front. You do have about 2.5 inches of ground clearance. Again, great for going on grass, as long as it's compact, hard grass. It's not going to do well in wet, soft grass, sand, Cobblestone, maybe not so much. You know, again, this is a lightweight, travel-friendly model. It's not an off-road scooter, so we have to be realistic with the expectations. With that being said, it holds up pretty well with all the other travel scooters. We have done comparisons where we take all the top-selling travel models like this one, and we test them off-road on grass, on hills, and this one held up pretty well. Now, one other thing I want to show you, this does have automatic brakes, so for safety, that's huge. Is you just let go of the throttle, it stops. You don't have to hit a brake lever like on a bike or a pedal. It just comes to a stop, and the wheels are always in park mode, if you will. So even if you try to push it right now, the brakes are locked in. So if you want to turn the brakes off, there's just a convenient little yellow lever back here. If you hit this lever and you put it forward into neutral mode, you can actually manually push the scooter. Let's say your battery dies. Well, first of all, if the brakes are on, you could feel confident and safe knowing that it's not going to roll down a hill uncontrollably. But if your batteries die and you're in a safe place, you need to push it somewhere to put it back on the charger, you just tap that lever into the forward position and push it manually. Now, once you're ready to power it back on, there's something really important that a lot of people don't really pay attention to in the user manual. It's okay, you should read your user manual. But if you turn it on right now with it in neutral mode, it's not going to work. It's going to beep 5 times, okay? And it's not going to work. So if you hit the throttle, it's not moving. Why? Well, for safety, your brakes need to be engaged in order for it to work. So what do? You just put it back into drive mode, turn it on, and now it works. So that 5 beep code is part of a diagnostic system. So for technicians and for end users, right? You don't need to pay a technician to turn the brakes back on like I just did. If you look at your user manual, there's all sorts of maintenance tips and that troubleshooting guide, which tells you for each set of beep codes what it means. Again, 5 beeps simply means you need to power down your unit, put your brake into drive mode, turn it back on. It's that easy. Now, it doesn't stop there. Golden Technologies, not only do they have that diagnostic table for the codes, but for technicians like me, they have full-blown service technician manuals, which tell you how to troubleshoot every single part, down to the voltage, the resistance ranges, and exactly what to do with diagrams step by step. And personally, I think that's huge. They put a lot of thought into the maintenance and troubleshooting of these scooters for their dealers and end users who are handy. They also include an industry-leading parts warranty. You get a year on the battery, 2 years on the electronics and the motors, and either a 5 or a lifetime limited warranty on the frame for most of their products. They're one of the only manufacturers who include an in-home repair contract in addition to all that. So if there is a warranty defect within the first year, you don't need to go anywhere. Technicians coming to your home to replace the warranty-approved parts as part of that all-encompassing service and warranty plan, which I think is huge. Golden's based right out of the USA here in Pennsylvania. They make a lot of their products here in the USA, and we love working with them. In fact, they make our top-selling products. The Buzzaround series is specifically the Buzzaround Carry-Ons, our #1 seller, but this here is a great option if you want to save some money. The Buzzaround Carry-On's a little more expensive, but it's awesome. I highly recommend you watch that video next. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you learned something. If I didn't cover something, you have a question, leave them in the comment section. We'll reply within 1 business day. All right, now let's talk about what I don't like about this model, and there really isn't much. Maybe just the fact that it doesn't have suspension or a light kit, but with that being said, you can easily get a little bicycle light and put it on the handlebar that attaches to it for like less than 10 bucks on Amazon. Also, models with suspension compared to those without it, to me, don't make a huge difference. What really does make a difference in the smoothness of the ride are bigger air-filled tires, which really no travel-friendly model in its class has. So you're really not going to miss out on much, and considering how affordable it is, you're really not going to find any other options out there with suspension and lighting kits around the same price anyway. I want to end this video on one last note here. In case you didn't know, part of every sale here at Mobility Direct goes towards funding our mission to give back to the disabled community. We give away mobility scooters and power wheelchairs all the time to people in need, people that are either homeless, a lot of them are veterans that are struggling to get around with a walker or a cane, and they could really use a scooter, but they can't afford it. We show up and we give them the gift of mobility. A lot of the times we have cameras rolling. We have a whole playlist of giveaway videos. So make sure you grab a tissue and check those out. A lot of heartfelt moments in there. If you want to be a part of that movement, consider shopping at Mobility Direct or just telling someone about our YouTube channel. Share it on your Facebook. Together, we can make a difference, folks. One mobility scooter at a time. Again, I'm Sergio with Mobility Direct. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time. What's up, guys? It's me, Sergio, and
Drew
at Mobility Direct. We're here at MedTrade at the Golden Technologies booth, and there's a few things I got to show you. You already know that we have carried and we've recommended the Buzzaround Extreme and the Buzzaround LX, some of the most heavy-duty, travel-friendly scooters that break down into 5 or 6 lightweight pieces, depending on the model. I've got to show you something pretty awesome. They're revamping the Buzzaround line quite a bit, and we're going to be here for the next 2 days, getting a ton of footage of some new products, some that are out, some that aren't yet. So come over here with me. All right, so if you're not familiar with the Buzzaround Extreme, check out our in-depth review video. It's one of my favorite mid-size off-road mobility scooters. Great for indoor and outdoor use, actually. It has suspension on the front and the rear. It breaks down into 6 pieces. You take the batteries out, remove the seat, remove the basket, and the whole thing kind of splits in half from the front and the rear. Look at the new seat pattern on it. Super duper comfortable. 18-mile range, full LED headlight, seat rotates, the armrests flip up, they're width adjustable, height adjustable, but here's the new update. It's a nice touch. It's not a huge update, but look at that LED light on the front. This is available in the LX version as well, which we have a video for, and I recommend watching it if you need something a little more heavy duty. This one holds 350 pounds. The Buzzaround LX holds 375 pounds. Very easy to use, single-handed use, Delta tiller. Again, if you want to learn more about it, I'll put the specs at the end of the video so you can take your time and watch them in full. Here's a new product that's not out yet either. It's the new updated Buzzaround LT. These scooters are going to be powered by lithium batteries straight from the factory very, very soon, which means lighter weight, more runtime on a full charge. Overall, just better performance. You don't have to worry about charging as often and as regularly with the lithium ion batteries. So super exciting to learn more about that as well. Now, the LT Buzzaround is one of the most affordable options out there. It's the opening price point. So it's going to be the most affordable one. And now it has a mesh back seat, which is going to provide airflow and be better in those warmer tropical states. And check this out. LED light strips on the side. If you press this little button right here and toggle through, the light patterns change. Pretty cool. I really like that they're adding more light accessories and accents. Kind of just makes it feel more modern. Also, I don't know if you could see this here, but usually to adjust the tiller, you have to like rotate a knob right here and then retighten it after you tilt it forward or back. Now, there's a little kick action lever here. So if you just hit that with your foot either here or here, it's like a spring-loaded system where you can tilt the tiller forward or back, away from the seat or closer to it, using your feet instead of bending down, loosening up a knob, and then retightening it. So those 2 features make it pretty awesome. Again, this is the Buzzaround LT. These are some of the new updates you can expect from Golden Technologies later on this year. I'm super excited to show you more about it, so make sure you subscribe if you want to learn more about these awesome new products coming out soon. Again, I'm Sergio with Mobility Direct. Until next time, everybody, have a great day.